In this episode of Conducting Pills, we'll dive into the first two movements of Josef Suk's Serenade for strings. Hi, I'm Gianmaria Griglio, I'm a conductor and a composer, and I welcome you to this new episode of Conducting Pills, a series where we look into a classical piece or a part of it and outline its structure and phrasing, orchestration and harmony, with a bonus technical tips for conductors. I want to take a second to thank my new patrons, Jennifer and Jaco, and all of my other patrons for making this series possible. On my website you can find now more than 70 videos between score and technical analysis, the full episodes of Conducting Pills, on top of the live sessions and plenty of other material. And now, let's begin. A prominent figure in the Czech musical world, Josef Suk's star has been unjustly declining over the years, something we've already seen happening to quite a few composers like Franz Schreker. Suk grew up with music. His father taught him organ, piano and violin, and he later perfected violin with another teacher on top, taking up composing. And perhaps this is the most known aspect of his life. His composition mentor was none other than Andante and Dvořák. Moreover, Suk ended up marrying Dvořák's daughter, Ottilie, in 1898. The Serenade for Strings was written in 1892. After a partial premiere in 1893 and a full premiere in 1895, the work quickly became popular and got a nice endorsement of Brahms. It's in four movements: Andante con moto, Allegro ma non troppo e grazioso, Adagio, Allegro giocoso ma non troppo presto. A lovely nocturnal opening, very similar and not unexpectedly so to Dvořák's Serenade. Second violins and violas are the motor pulsing underneath a delicate melody sung by the first violins. Cellos and basses punctuate with pizzicatos like little drops of water in a pond. One element is used to create a bridge, which lands on the first theme again, in forte this time, played by the first violins an octave higher. The cellos imitate two quarter notes after violins, and again the harmony shifts, and from E flat major we move to G major, where a lovely second theme awaits. As new as it may sound, it is actually derived from something we've already heard at letter A. Now here's letter A again. And here's the second theme. This theme sees now some development, passing between violins and cellos, and reused in a more melancholic take by the second violins. The element that created the transition between the first and second theme is developed as well. Landing on the second theme once more, and then used to bridge back to the first theme. The arpeggio is disrupted and from the low register climbs all the way up. The head of the first theme is played by the violas in their high register in an ethereal atmosphere. Back to earth and its sorrows, and then to the first theme in B major. Shortly, we head for the coda, which sees the return of harmonic games played on an E-flat pedal of the basses. The structure of this movement is not quite a complete sonata form. The development is nested into the second theme, and everything is kept very compact, carefree. Much like the first movement of Dvořák's Serenade, this movement is about long legato strokes with inner pulses. Registration is one of your best friends in this kind of music. Try to follow the pitch contour with your hand. It's an invaluable and very elegant way to break the pattern. We are moving to the dominant key of B flat in the serene 3/4. The simplicity and clarity with which the phrase is constructed remind of the classical era. An 8-bar phrase that can be split into two 4-bar half phrases, which in turn can be split into 2 bars themselves. phrase is repeated with some small variations and proceeds, introducing an element typical of Czech music, found very often in Polish music as well, the hemiolas, or the displacement of the natural accent every 2 beats instead of 3. The variation of the phrase includes a triplet used to bridge to the return of the main theme, while the hemiolas put a stop to everything on a grand pause, a bar of rest where everybody is silent. Again, the hemiolas rule in an unexpected meno mosso, which seems like the beginning of a new section, but is in fact just a bridge. The clouds of the meno mosso dissipate quickly, the main theme returns and leads us to the central part of this movement. We land on a serene G-flat major. Notice the rhythmical figure in response to the cantabile theme, another homage from Suk to his mentor. Suk takes a somewhat unexpected turn, developing the ideas into a passionate passage. Which eventually sees a citation of the first theme of the first movement at letter K. While building a bridge to return to the first section of the piece. The meno mosso leads to the coda, which closes the movement in an elegant pianissimo. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking on the subscribe button right below the video and ring the bell so that you will get notified every time a new video comes out. For more in-depth analysis, conducting technique, and conducting exercises, look on my website and follow my Facebook group. All the links are in the description. Let me know in the comments what you think about this piece and if you have any suggestions for future videos, and I look forward to seeing you next week with a new episode of Conducting Pills, when we will go through the second half of this wonderful piece. In the meanwhile, please continue to enjoy music and be well. Ciao! More differentiation in the type of stroke. Staccato versus legato. The staccato stroke should not be too sharp in order to avoid a harsh sound. Do it from the wrist and use a small rebound. It will keep the bounciness and elegance.